Yes.
Hello, today is Wednesday on our adventure. We're on the last leg of it. Monday, we traveled all the way through South Dakota from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Boy did a little video on that day. It was a hot day, 103 degrees. It was very warm. A little over 8.5, 9 hours of driving. And we finally got to Murdo, South Dakota, mile marker 192. Had a great stay at that Days Inn, and we had a pool and a hot tub, so it really relaxed us and helped us. So Tuesday we took off. Tuesday morning we headed south on, I think it was 84, towards Redbud, and we were driving along, and all of a sudden we had both the battery light and the brake light come on of a warning, and we were wondering what. I didn't know what was wrong. I thought maybe there was a computer issue for them both coming on at the same time. So we kept riding, and we stopped at Pine Ridge, or Redbud, and we found the headquarters, where the BA headquarters was, and we stopped and we prayed.
Red Bat.
No. Redbud.
Redbud.
Oh.
And we stopped and prayed there, and as we were finishing up our prayer, this young man came along, and God told Shai, roll down your window and give him a banana. We were like, huh? Shai, before we could ever think of anything, Shai's rolling down her window. Hey, would you like a banana? Yeah, sure. So she hands him, I just pulled a bunch out from between the seats here, and there was two together, and I gave it to her, and Shai gave it to him, and as we drove off, he's eating a banana. And Shai turns around and says, did you hear what we just did? We were praying that we could plant seeds here, and we just planted a seed of giving someone a piece of fruit to build bridges. So you never know what'll happen. So we took off from Redbud and we headed towards Pine Ridge. And it was around 1 o'clock that we arrived there, and we stopped at the head office, the BA office, and we prayed a short prayer. And we stopped at a gas station and put up the hood. And, I couldn't really find anything wrong. I didn't have a meter or anything to test it. But we decided that we're just going to keep going. So we got in our car and we took off. About 20 minutes later, or 15 minutes later, we stopped at Ogla. And the car was like losing acceleration. So I stopped, and we in a retired elderly place, and we stopped, and it started up fine, after turning it off, and we were like, well, let's keep going. So we went over the White River, and about 5 minutes later, the car conked out again. This time we were near someone's house, so we pulled down the road because there is no side roads in here. And we pulled off the road, and we ran into this house, and we knocked on the door. This lady we met was Jenny Stover, I believe her last name was. She was very kind to us. She helped us get none of them could tow us in with a chain. They didn't feel comfortable doing that, so we called for a tow truck, and they came about an hour later. It gave us time to meet Jenny and little Eddie. And we then we dragged it in. We couldn't tow it because of the bumper and because of all the people we had, so we dragged it in. The kids rode with Jenny, Shai rode with the tow truck, and I was in the car with the tow truck driver being pulled. And they pulled us into Sinclair's, and Sinclair wouldn't work on it, said they weren't allowed to. So they called State Line, which was just over the Nebraska line, and they said they would work on it. Got it there around 3 o'clock, and they started. They had someone in Rapid City that was on his way back, and he stopped and picked up this part for us. So it was 1:30 that we got our car back. But in the meantime, Jenny took us and we met Matthew's church. I can't remember the name of the pastor, but they weren't there. Someone else was in the coffee house. So Jenny took us over to her mother-in-law, which was a lay minister at the Catholic Church. And they didn't have really beds to sleep in, but she suggested maybe that next door at the Presbyterian Lutheran Retreat Center, maybe they could take care of us. And they did. They graciously took us in, and we stayed in bunk beds down the basement and had hot showers, and it was a blessing. God really made something bad into something good. And we made great contacts there. And we were very thankful. Thankful that for all your prayers that you answered, you helped us. And God really did intervene for us. And so we're going to...
I stopped.